Okay, this is Sagelight, a new photo editing software. Well, it's new to me and new to other members of the club. It was discovered by Paddy McNamee, and credit must go to Paddy for that. It's a great little tool for beginners, and the reason I say that is because at any point during the process you can click the reset button and that will take you back to your original image. Now, when you open the program, you'll be presented with this page here, and you just select File, and I'm going to open a recent file, and it's one of a scene of a lavender field taken in the south of England, and as you can see it's a pretty lifeless image, and with Sagelight I'm going to give it a bit of oomph and make it look like something that's a bit more dynamic, for want of a better word. Now, the old saying there are more than two ways to skin a cat is quite true of this program Sagelight, because I've been working on it maybe for 6 to 8 weeks now, and I've been able to improve this picture. When I say improve it to my taste, that is, in a number of different ways. And probably the quickest way I found is by using a drop down menu here, and it's the image menu, and if you come down to level adjustment or levels adjustment, a bit like auto or levels in Photoshop, and you're then presented with this control panel here, which is controls the highs and the lows within the picture. Now you can also see here, I mentioned to you the reset tip. Don't be tempted to use automatic levels, because it doesn't really do that much. If I click that there, now you can see it's done very, very little. So we'll uncheck that, and then we'll reset the image back to its original state. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to play around with the sliders, and what the high slider does, it actually blows the sky to smithereens, so we don't really want to work on that there. And if I go into the lows, it will darken it down, so took it to about 38 or so, and then I played with the highs, and you can see how contrasting and some people would say oversaturated that image has become, but we can deal with that later. So let me just see here. There, I'm happy with that there, so I'm just going to accept that. Right, so now I'm going to use a feature which is probably my favorite feature in the whole program, and it's under the Edit drop down menu, and it's called the Undo brush. If I click on that, we get another little menu here where I can control the size of my brush, and I want a fairly big brush, so I'll bring it up to about 250 or so, and I want to give it full pressure, and hardness is to do whether it's a hard edge or a soft edge. I'm just going to leave it at 20, and you just watch as I then paint back the sky which was blown away. Right, that's it back. Now I also came down here too much on top of my forest, so I'll just go subtract undo, and I can just bring that back in again, back into play. Again, accept. And if you come down to the bottom here, there's the original image, and that's the image that we are trying to improve. So what do we do with the sky? We go back into our image menu and go back again to the levels adjustment, right? And this time we want to darken the sky way down, so we use the lows, and you can see what that's doing to the sky. Don't worry about what's happening here, because with the undo brush we can fix it, so we can make this sky really dramatic looking. Now there's not a lot we can do over here because it's pretty much blown out anyway, so let's accept that. Go back up to our undo brush, and again we need a big brush. If I bring it up to about 350 because I'm going to be working on this big bit of area here and I want full pressure, so I'll just watch as I undo. Making sure that we get everything in there and back. So again, let's look at our original image, and you can see that we're making a bit of a job of it. Now there are some people who would think, stop the world, I want to get off, I don't want to have anything to do with this. Well, if that's the case, then I suggest you stop watching now and go and make yourself a cup of tea and put on your slippers. Okay, now let's see how can we improve the sky. We'll accept that first of all, so that brings us back to, this is our starting menu, and what I want to do now is I want to clone some of this cloud over to this area here. And again, the image drop down menu and the very bottom brush is the clone brush, and you'll see it's a crosshair like the side of a gun, and I can place it anywhere, and I can now, just by holding the mouse key down, you can see how I'm cloning that area there. Now the danger with cloning is that you'll get repetition, so you want to avoid that. So you just change your target area every now and again, and that will then mean that you don't have let's just see, you don't have any repetition there. Okay, all right, so that looks okay there. Now I'll accept that, and you can see over here too where we have a bit of blowout, and again here. Now I'm not sure that there's a lot that we can do about that, so we come back and get our clone brush again. Only this time I'm going to make it a bit smaller, and I'll take from here, change again, and change to say here. Now if you feel at any time that it's starting to look false, there is a little erase brush here where you can take that back out again if you think that it's just not realistic enough. You think the clouds are too artificial. Let's go back to our original image by clicking on the button down below here, and that looks okay. So again, except up here under what is called the More Functions drop down menu, you have a function where you can put a gradient in. So we click on that there, and although the image is turned a funny color, we have to select neutral density and enable the gradient controls. And you can see this little menu box here where I can move my gradient up and down, where I want my gradient to be, where I want to start, and then I just select gradient amount. Now up here, the strength of the gradient, and what I'll do, put it at its darkest so you can see what it's doing. You can see along this line, that is where the gradient is. This is the gradient amount. Move it up to the top of the trees and then bring it back in strength. Now you can just check down here if that taskbar we get out of the way. That's the change that we've made from the last time, and this is from start to where we are now. So again, we can accept that, and we are back to our image again. And just to finish off, we have come up to more functions again, and you have a vignette button. Okay, now it's pretty good. You can actually move the vignette around. As you can see, the center of the vignette can be moved around just by holding down the mouse button and moving it around, but we want it dead in the center. Again, accept, and just to finish off, you can give it a little soft glow or a soft focus, and that can be made as soft as you want it to be. And you can also brighten it up or slightly darken it down and a wee bit more softness. And there you have it. Now, along the bottom we also have these comparison buttons. That's the current image and the original image. And I think you'll agree, even though you might like the picture, that this is a much more interesting picture than the original. So when you are happy with it, you can accept. And once you accept, you come back to this page here. So we'll go back to our full screen, and you will see these two little buttons here where we can go through the different processes that we used. I'm going to take us right back to the original, which is this one. First thing that we did was the first level adjustment, second level adjustment, and you can see the different steps that we took to come to this final image. It's a lot of fun, this program. It's very, very nice to work with. I like working with it. I haven't given up on Photoshop, don't think that by any stretch of the imagination, but it is a lovely wee piece of work and well worth the £25 which the program costs. And that is for a free lifetime support. As any upgrades or anything like that, you will then get all of those. Even though it says on the website that the offer ends on the 1st of July, believe me, the offer is still on. So there you have it, folks. Sagelight image editor, and you can see how useful that can be. And I'm going to do a few more little tutorials, post them on the website. There's a lot of different things that you can do with this here, with plugins and different little tricks. So hope you enjoyed it, and until next time, bye bye.